So for the whole year and 2022, we invested 1.7 billion in Ukraine, mainly to finance key infrastructure as the electricity network financing, to repair, emergency repair financing. We provided to the electricity network company Ukrenergo, but also support to the gas company Naftogaz to buy gas, and support to the railway company to be able to have the liquidity needed to operate. And we also provide a lot of support to the private sector through trade finance, to facilitate import and export of goods, but also the agribusiness sector, and working through the banking sector with risk-sharing facilities. And now we step up our work with municipalities to help them repair the key infrastructure, provide them financing to repair the key infrastructure. So 1.7 billion this year, and we plan for 2022-2023 to be able to do 3 billion investment over the 2 years, which is quite a lot. And we were able to do that thanks to donor support, to get guarantees, to share the risk with us.
Right. I think the key word there is the word repair. And Russia had been pursuing an aggressive campaign of attacking Ukraine's critical infrastructure. And at one point I read that they had wiped out about 50% of Ukraine's critical energy infrastructure. Of course, that has to be rebuilt up again. But it's a bit of a race of time, because a month later the attacks resume, and then the same infrastructure needs to be rebuilt. How do you factor that in into your assessment of where the money needs to get allocated and how it's going to get allocated? Because from a return on investment standpoint, it's not going to be very high.
That's why it's a very challenging time. It's very difficult to provide financing to a country in war. Yeah. But at the beginning of the war, we decided that it's also fundamental, because if we want Ukraine to be able to sustain the war and to win this war, they need support and they need the economy to keep ongoing. And since this attack, very brutal attack on key infrastructure has started, we continue and we step up our financing for this emergency repair. Of course, there is, the return on investment is not great, but I think it's part of our role to do that, because it's really for the future of Ukraine. Because if the country has no electricity, no heating, and so forth, it will not be able to win this war.
And more generally, what's the breakdown between grants and loans?
So we are doing mainly loan financing, because we are a bank. We are also be used as a channel to convey grants. For example, Norway and Netherlands. Norway provided a 200 million grants for the gas, buying gas, and Netherlands helped us with the Ukrenergo project. And so this is very helpful, because indeed, over time, and the more we continue to finance and so forth, the debt sustainability will become an issue. So I think the more grant we can get, the better it is. But what is absolutely necessary is to continue to finance and to provide finance to Ukraine to be able to deal with the situation.